Hi everyone. So I wanted to start drawing my Star Wars characters for you guys today so that you can start transitioning. Tomorrow is Thursday, April 2nd, and so you guys will start drawing your illustrations. Now I'm not asking you to do rough sketches or post that just because I feel like we're going to be evaluating your work as it comes in, and so I just wanted to get up and started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to isolate the drawing, and so I'm actually going to be working with a photograph of a BB-8 that I've done before, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be able to not necessarily have the downtime in between drawings and demos that I normally have. Normally, I'll be working on a drawing as you guys are working on a drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and I know you can't see file, but I'm going to go to file down to new, or I could come in here and I could just do an 8.5 by 11. One of the things that I would say about doing that is you always want to check your units and grids. This one, my units were in general millimeters, so I want to move that to inches. And so there are a couple of ways I can bring BB-8 in here. I can just drop him on that composition, so that works. And you can see he's really big, I will be scaling him down, or I could come up to file, and again, I know you aren't seeing file, but I'm going to come down from file down to place. Excuse me, I'm constantly clearing my throat and it's driving me crazy. So I'm actually gonna just Google BB-8 over here, or not Google, but search for BB-8, and it's gonna bring him up for me. I intended to put that folder on my desktop and I didn't. But normally I would know where that folder was. So again, that gave us the same thing. So I'm going to scale down BB-8. And just like the duck, I'm going to copy him to the side so that I can use him. And I'm using a new keyboard, so you're going to have to bear with me. It is actually set up for PC. I'm constantly having to look and think about what alt means, and alt means option. I might actually just put OP in there. All right, so we have these in place, and I'm going to come into my layers. Remember, my layers palette was really important for me, and I don't have my layers palette up. I went searching for it on the right and it wasn't visible, but if I go up to window, again you can't see window, but down to layers, that's going to give me the ability to see my layers, and I want to lock that because those guys are considered my basic drawing, the thing that I'm going to illustrate, and I don't want them moving around while I'm illustrating. If you were doing your own illustration, you would do exactly what I just did, but you would drop in your own image. And some of you are doing this by hand. We'll start there. And then we're going to evaluate how to draw BB-8. Now, it's really, really pretty simple. We basically just have to think about his components just like we did with the ducky. And so I'm going to start by just doing his shape, because we're going to have a white shape behind. And so that's the first place for me to start. So I'm going to come over here to the ellipse tool. And my guess is he's not completely round, but I'm going to hold down Shift and C. And then I'll move it into place and see how close we are. And then I'm just going to stretch it into place. Now, again, remember our goal here is not to be photorealistic. It's just to get the job done and to make a fairly accurate BB-8. Once I have this done, I'm going to come up, for some reason I made a new layer. I'm going to come up, I'm going to hide that and lock it, and I'm going to do his helmet. Again, I'm doing the wrong key commands, thinking I'm right. All right, so remember, this is a big top of the hill, bottom of the hill, top of the hill, bottom of the hill. And you can see that he has this underneath, but I'm actually going to just get rid of that because I kind of want that to float. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to click. And believe it or not, with just those 4 simple points, we'll be able to make that fairly complicated curve. And remember, I can fix one side. You can see the right side is right where it needs to be. I'm going to release that. I'm actually going to get rid of the center so I don't see that. And then I'm going to drop that in. And then I can do this side. And I'm pretty happy with that. So I can come back here to my other top of the hill. And to be honest, I'm going to be real happy with that as well. Even though it's not exactly perfect. But again, our goal here is not perfection. Now, once we've done that, I'm going to grab this point. There it goes. Once we've done that, I'm actually going to fill that center with white, get rid of my stroke, and I'm going to turn that off. I'm actually coming back here because I feel like it really has to be fairly even on both sides, or when I come back to do this drawing, it's going to be awkward. So we're going to fix those parts, even though that's not what this photograph is showing us. All right. So once we've done that, we're going to turn that off and hide it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and kind of evaluate these shapes that are on him, because that's kind of our next layer. And one of the things I want to be careful about is you can see that these shapes have lines out on them. So I want to actually leave the outlines intact. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come above layer 3, and I'm going to add a layer because I want this layer to float on its own layer. And then I'm going to start kind of putting in those orange parts. And again, I'm going to just flip this to outline view so that I can see what I need to do. Sorry, I don't know if you guys are hearing my phone constantly have messages being dropped in, but and I'm going to come in and tweak this guy. And even though I don't like that, I'm going to pull this guy down and see how we feel about that. Oops, that's starting to get somewhere. So again, it's like a constant trial and error. I'm going to be really happy with that. We're going to lose some of this underneath, and you can see this looks thicker here and it'll look thinner there because it's coming at me. So the next phase that I need to do is I need to actually duplicate that shape. And that's going to, and so I'm holding down Option for those with PCs, that's Alt. And I'm going to scale that. I need it to be an exact replica of the shape that I had just had. And you can see that I'm going to squeeze it. And then I'm going to try to replicate it as closely as possible and be happy with that. Now, I'm going to fill this background color with yellow. And our goal here is to take this shape, and I'm going to fill this with red. And I'm actually going to turn off the outlines on both of those because we don't need them. And I'm going to grab both of those. And I remember showing you the Pathfinder and kind of our overview. So I'm going to go into our Pathfinder. Actually, our Pathfinder is up. So right here. So this is the front minus back. So the red is the front and the yellow is the back. So when I click on that, it's going to cut through for me. And I know it's not perfectly exactly like the image, but the reality is it will look just fine and you will not know that there was anything different. And so we're going to be happy with that, and we are going to select this orange and drop that in. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in these shapes. And that's actually really easy to do. I'm actually going to do a rectangle. And I'm going to rotate that rectangle. Whoops. Just added an extra shape I didn't need. I'm going to bring that rectangle into place, and again I'm going to do outline so I can see where those lines are, and then I can move these independently into position. And the new Illustrator is so awesome in that I can now pull that curve in by clicking that, and boom, we're done with that little guy. All right, so we will repeat with all of these. I'm gonna come back to that, but I want to come down here and show you what I would do here, and then I'll probably end this video and it'll come back and magically I will have it more drawn than you see. It'll be like magic. It'll only be 10 minutes, but it'll be magic. All right, so we're going to grab that. I'm going to go to outline view again so that I can see where things are going. And I'm going to go to my black arrow so I can select everything. And I'm going to push this down a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with my direct select tool and kind of, oops, push in some of these guys independently. And you can see, oops, this keyboard's really messing me up. You can see that that really helps, and I'm quickly getting what I need in that shape. And I'm going to be happy with that. Same thing I'm going to do in the past, and I am going to copy that. So Alt or Option for Mac or PC, Option for Mac, Alt for PC. I had to get myself a wireless keyboard at home because it was driving me nuts to have all the cords. And so this was Mac compatible, but the indicators were PC. But it was pretty cheap. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to come over here and kind of fuss with this a little bit. And I'm pretty happy with that. And the same thing I'm going to do, this one I'm going to make him black, and then I'm going to make this one yellow. And one of the things you'll notice is I made sure that I went all the way to the edge and passed, because when we cut this out we needed not to have any of that. So I'm gonna grab both of these. I can hold down Shift and click both of those and do a front minus back again. And then I am going to select that, and there we go. All right, so I'm going to end this video now, and the next time you come back I'll have all these orange things filled in and some of the line work, and it'll be super exciting. Thanks.